I want to try something new and dissect the rollout of this campaign and see what I would have changed as a social media coach if I worked for Louis Fitzgerald and the team at the label. Because when a song first got teased on my TikTok timeline, I was gassed. I was so ready for it to come out. But once it did release, I was kinda disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. So let me load up the first ever clip from this campaign, and I'll leave it till the very end to reveal how many streams it got and how I think we could have done even more. So the first clip that dropped from this record was this. It's catchy, the font is really fun and animated, like it's in a chicken shop. Like I was hooked from this initial video. And then there's another scene that gets posted a couple of days later, and he's just hammering that same timestamp, big things are run around here, for every single day in between, but it's low quality self-filmed content rather than this high quality production content. So it's really lo-fi, it's using TikTok fonts rather than that really flashy animated font, and it's not really hitting just as hard, even though first video did 292,000 TikTok views. This one did 470,000 TikTok views. There's a third video from the same shoot. Let me just mute this so we don't have to hear it all over and over again. Another new font, and it's from a really strange angle. I don't know why they've chosen this particular angle. And a fourth one with a new timestamp with another new font involved. But if you hear in the song, like to me, the energy is like a club kind of vibe. It's not a chicken shop sort of vibe. And so I'm wondering if this was the best location, even though it's relevant to the artist, for the campaign. And so it's been about 2.5, 3 weeks by this point of him pushing the exact same timestamp, and it's getting a bit old. So he's moved to a new timestamp in the pre-marketing phase where the tune isn't even out. And I think this might have been the mistake of the campaign. Because if you listen to the full song, this is pretty much Louis Fitzgerald's entire part on the song in these two different timestamps. So he's given away everything before the record's out. And now in post-marketing, you've got no more juice to celebrate the song and drive more streams other than the featuring artist NSG, who have 4 or 5 different verses. And then he goes back to this lo-fi content. It's just like self-filmed stuff and really kind of DIY content, I would call it, until he then releases the tune. And there's this scene with NSG, but it's now centered around the collab between these two power artists rather than Louis himself. Right? No captions, no subtitles. This one didn't quite hit for me. Then there's some reaction videos. And again, another scene from the same shoot with no text at all. And I felt a little bit disappointed. And yes, the tune has ran up 356,000 streams in 3 weeks. But I feel like it could have been more. Like when I had such high hopes for this record, like I wish he'd saved some of the juice for the post-marketing period. And now I take a look in his bio, he's hyping up a solo version of the song that's coming soon. So he's re-releasing it. And the content to push the solo version is doing a fraction of the numbers. So he's got a different timestamp, again, finally. But he's getting his hair cut. And it's basic fonts. And this looks a bit boring in comparison to the hype of 200K and 400K that he had before. And so I'm wondering, Louis, if you're doing another campaign, maybe you need a social media coach to jump on the campaign and to strategize all the different ways that you're seeding out this content and to have a harmonized look and feel for everything. Because at least if you're filming it DIY, you can have a standard for yourself. And if you're filming it with a videographer, you can make it look TikTok native across everything you do. Not just have one that put all the budget into that 1 or 2, maybe 3 assets, and everything else is on the cheap. And so that's my suggestion. Let me know what you would do differently to run up the numbers on this particular video. Huge love. Again, there's no shade whatsoever. I'm a fan of this artist, but I'm just showing what I would do if I was on the trail. If you've enjoyed this video, head to the description below and grab my free guide, how to get between 10k to 30k streams per song so you can accelerate your account towards 100,000 monthly streams. Just pop in your email address so I know where to send the guide, and it's completely free. I hope you find it useful on your next campaign.